Good afternoon. I'm Mayor Lyrian Gaylor-Baird, and joining us once again to provide interpretation is Sharon Sinkler. Thank you so much, Sharon, for being here today. Since the pandemic began a year ago, city government has worked with our community on a number of goals, and three crucial ones in particular: keeping our residents safe by preventing the spread of the virus, helping our businesses by setting the stage for economic recovery, and providing support for individuals and families severely impacted by the pandemic in the form of food, housing, and utility assistance. Today, we're here to announce millions of dollars in additional funding to keep roofs over heads by helping those in need of housing and utilities assistance. We also are here today to urge community members to help us spread the word that help is here. Help is here for those who are struggling to pay off their housing and utility debt as a result of the pandemic. We are fortunate that the federal government has stepped up in a major way with direct aid to cities that will help us more fully surmount the economic impacts of the pandemic. With additional federal dollars allocated to Lincoln back in December, and with the anticipated arrival of American Rescue Plan funding in the next 60 days, we are expanding our community-wide partnership to efficiently deploy these dollars and ensure that our residents remain healthy and housed. We began distributing federal relief funds to those in need of housing and utility assistance last year. And what we are highlighting today is a major scaled-up effort to eliminate housing and utility debt for those impacted by the pandemic here in our community. Our City Urban Development Department has skillfully convened a network of agencies and leveraged their talents and capacity to ensure the success of this effort. Urban Development Director Dan Marvin is with us to explain more about what we have already accomplished on behalf of our most vulnerable community members and what comes next. Thanks for being here today, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. The city's been providing housing and utility assistance throughout the pandemic. The city received $4 million in federal CARES funding last July. That included $975,000 for housing and utility assistance. In September, Lincoln received an additional $728,000 in federal CARES Act funding for its program to help people struggling to pay for rent, mortgages, and utilities. And the Nebraska Children's and Family Foundation provided an additional $100,000 match for these federal dollars. We have now paid out over $2.5 million in assistance and helped over 1,000 households that are struggling to pay rent while they deal with the challenges caused by COVID-19. Despite the fact that these funds are now nearly depleted, we continue to get requests for help. That's why the new federal funds we've recently received are a lifesaver for so many in our community. We have received an additional federal funding for almost $13.5 million to continue providing important assistance for housing and utility expenses. What makes these funds so important is that they can be used to resolve past housing and utility debt. As the vaccine provides a light at the end of the tunnel for the pandemic, this new assistance is the light at the end of the tunnel for many individuals and families saddled with this debt. To make sure that the distribution of these funds is efficient, equitable, and effective, we have expanded our network of partners to better assist our households by creating a dedicated path for landlords to apply for their tenants. In the past, those needing assistance were asked to call individual agencies for help. Now, with a single phone number and an online application process, those who need assistance can call 402-413-2085 or go to lincoln.ne.gov/rent. You will also find a link on the resident resource page of our website, covid19.lincoln.ne.gov. Our goal is to help connect all eligible households that are impacted by the pandemic with the necessary dollars to address the challenges they face in paying for housing and paying utility bills.
Thank you so much, Dan. Your leadership, our city staff's dedicated efforts, and the willing partnership of our inspiring community partners have made this important work of this impressive collaborative possible. And here by Zoom today are representatives from a broad coalition who are committed to shielding residents from the economic consequences of the pandemic. And I'd like to recognize each of them. Here with us today are Dennis Hoffman from Family Services, Topher Hansen from Centerpoint, Vi C. from Community Action Partnership, Katie Patrick from Catholic Social Services, Rose Hood Buss from the Hub, and Barbara Bartle from the Lincoln Community Foundation, Susie Blue from Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach, Jim Blue from Cedars Youth Services, Jason Fieldhouse from the Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, Jeff Chambers from the UNL Center on Children, Families, and the Law. Now, each of these service providers plays an important role in this effort, making this a true partnership in every sense of the word. Topher Hansen from Centerpoint will now speak a little more about how this partnership works. Topher, thank you so much for being a part of it, and we're glad to have you with us here today. Over to you.
Mayor, thank you for asking me, and I'm glad to be a part of this group. You know, this is one of the great things about Lincoln, Nebraska, is these organizations all come together and rally, step to the plate to answer the call. And it's an enviable situation from other cities that I travel to in my professional life. And so Centerpoint has been glad to be part of this. We've answered over 300 requests for assistance now. We get about 35 calls a week, and the people who we're responding to primarily are people who are working hard, trying to make ends meet, really doing their job in participating in our community, and just got knocked off track. And this assistance is critical to them. And to give you an example, one of them who we helped out then later responded to us and said, "Words cannot express our gratitude for your help with us receiving this assistance. I understand it is a part of your job, but your help with this has greatly changed our lives and has been an enormous help. Thank you for the work that you do." So that really captures the heartfelt response of the people that we're assisting. And I'm sure the same is true throughout other organizations. So I've appreciated being part of this. And again, this is one of the great things about Lincoln, Nebraska, is this kind of network stepping up to help its citizens.
Thank you, Topher. We are so appreciative of the contributions that Centerpoint and our other partners are making to support our community. And as Marvin mentioned, many residents have already benefited from the work we've been doing, your constituent included, Topher. Joining us today is another recipient of this assistance, Amanda Hammer. Amanda, we're really grateful that you've joined us today. We'd love to hear more from you about your experience accessing these resources. Over to you, Amanda. Amanda, are you with us?
There we go. Sorry.
Wonderful. No, welcome.
Thank you for asking me to be here today. I'm kind of traveling, so it's not very convenient, but I just wanted to be here to advocate for me and other people that have benefited from the same funding that you guys have offered. One of the things that helped me in the situation was I have two other roommates who were obviously I was kind of responsible for in the part where I couldn't pay fully of what I needed to. So you kept me housed along with two other people who were hit just as hard as I was. And it was definitely something they appreciated as much as I did. So not only was that helpful in that, and utilities as well. So they also were benefited. I was benefited, and had you guys not been there financially for me, I don't know that I would have had a home. So I was very appreciative of that, and I know they were as well. Being my age, majority of us do have roommates. Not a lot of us live on our own, so I know that it didn't only affect me, but multiple people in the same house as well, including families with multiple people. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. And it was very, very, very helpful, and still very appreciative this day. I will always appreciate the help that was offered and given to me. So thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you, Amanda. We are so pleased that you were able to find the support to stay in your home along with your housemates, and really appreciate you spending time sharing your experience about the impact of these resources, and thank you. So this pandemic has affected not only tenants like Amanda, but also landlords who need to pay the bills as well. And here to speak with us about how the assistance program has helped him weather the economic impacts of the pandemic is landlord Lynn Fisher. Lynn, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. So our company is Great Place Properties, and we serve, somewhere just over 700 residential units and the tenants in those places here in Lincoln. And the pandemic has definitely had a negative impact on several of our tenants, and we work real hard with them to communicate and stay on top of what can be done and connect them with resources. We've been able to do that with the housing and utility assistance program through the city. And so it's been great to have that help and to keep our folks housed and continue to be able to get resources in to cover our expenses and help us to keep those places in good shape. And I really appreciate that this program is being expanded and that additional resources and more access points are being put in place so that we can continue to help our tenants and keep everybody housed. So, Mayor, thank you very much, and thanks to all your staff for the great work.
Well, thank you, Lynn, for taking such a proactive role in these efforts to help individuals and their families pay their rent and utilities so they can stay in their homes. We also want to highlight that these efforts continue beyond Lincoln city limits. Lancaster County is also receiving federal funds for these purposes, and we're so pleased to be teaming up with them as well in order to maximize the positive impact these funds will make for our community. I want to first off thank Sarah Hoyle with Lancaster County Human Services for her incredible work with county residents on housing and utility assistance. And I also want to thank County Commissioner Sean Flowerday. Commissioner Flowerday is here with us today to share more about the county's efforts. Thanks for being here, Sean.
Thank you for having me here today. I want to especially thank our community partners who are helping to make this economic recovery a reality for our residents. Rent and utility assistance is needed across our county. This includes the rural areas of our community as well. We have $1.2 million in Treasury funds devoted to those living in rural communities outside of the Lincoln city limits. If you are struggling because of the pandemic, we have resources to help you. We have county staff as well as the Community Action Partnership who are devoted to helping you get the assistance you need. Please reach out to us at the number provided today or apply through the website. COVID-19 has impacted so many in our county. Please don't hesitate to ask for help. We've already received a dozen applications for approximately $80,000 in funds submitted from Waverly, Hickman, Bennett, Martell, and Firth. Before I hand the microphone back to our mayor, I do want to say a special thank you to our County Director of Human Services, Sarah Hoyle, who has worked so diligently through the pandemic to make sure that our residents have the support they need. Thank you again, Mayor, and thank you to all the news organizations for covering this program. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Flowerday. Really appreciate your leadership and all that the county board is doing to support our community members. We appreciate the team effort that we are using to focus on delivering aid where it is most needed. And all of these partners form the backbone of the Rent and Utilities Assistance Program, and their collaboration and resources make this vital work possible. Our success in eliminating our residents' rent and utilities debt ultimately relies on connecting those in the know with those in the need. We are here today to ask everyone in our community to spread the word so that those in need get the message that help is here. Getting help is simple. For those with internet access, the applications for both tenants and landlords are available at lincoln.ne.gov/rent. You'll find details on who is eligible for assistance and the necessary forms to access services. You'll also find a link on the resident resources page of our website, covid19.lincoln.ne.gov. And those without internet access or who need assistance filling out the required paperwork may simply call 402-413-2085 and follow the prompts to connect with a navigator at one of our partner organizations. That phone number, once again, is 402-413-2085. If you are in need, or if you know someone in need, I urge you to take these simple steps and get help to eliminate your housing and utility debt. Help is here. Our city team and our county and community partners are standing by and ready to serve. And thank you once again to the media for helping us to get out this important information to our residents. At this time, I'd love to open up the floor for any questions that you may have. You have any questions from the media today? Well, thank you once again for being here to cover the conference. Again, our website, covid19.lincoln.ne.gov. Click on Resident Resources to find more about housing and utility assistance that's available here in Lincoln and Lancaster County. Thank you.
Mayor, I do believe we have a question.
wonderful.
It's from Zach Hammock at the Lincoln Journal-Star. Zach, if you want to unmute, go ahead and ask your question.
Am I muted?
There you go.
Yes, you're unmuted.
Hi, Zach.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Zach Hanna from Lincoln Journal-Star. The federal moratorium on evictions expires on March 31st. Is that something the city has considered proposing on its own?
We are doing everything we can to help prevent evictions here in Lincoln and Lancaster County. And to that end, these resources that are so vital to making sure that people aren't racking up debt and don't end up in an eviction situation. We've been reaching out to landlords and property managers. We've been reaching out to community members, and we've stood up in partnership with folks from the law school and other community organizations, the Tenant Assistance Project, to help support people who are in the court system. The eviction moratorium that is in place at the federal level, we believe is likely to be extended. So we have not had extensive conversations about a local measure here in Lincoln.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other
That's all I
questions?
had.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other questions from the media? All right. Well, thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate you helping to spread the word. We want to make sure people stay safe, healthy, and housed. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon.